Hello, and welcome to Applied Nostalgia, a podcast that applies post-9/11 thought patterns and analyses onto pre-9/11 television. In other words, Cale and Evan talk about old TV shows. For updates, follow us on Twitter at SoWellRead, that's at SOWELLRED. So stick around for a few laughs, and you just might learn something along the way. Hello, I am Cale.
And I'm Evan.
Today we watched the 1989 failed pilot from NBC called The Nerd. Can you give us a one-sentence synopsis of what this is about?
White people be crazy.
I think that pretty much sums it up. The show starts off with two white people dancing in their living room, and it might be the whitest dancing I've ever seen.
Probably can get more white.
They were literally lined up right next to each other, shoulder to shoulder, and they were just going step left, step right, step left, step right. And then a nerd shows up, and he has like a tambourine, and then he chases them into the kitchen, and then they go back out to the living room, and they're all still dancing poorly. And then the nerd like walks out like the Pied Piper, and they follow him. And then he comes back in the door and locks the door on them, and they can't get back in.
That's funny. And I remember when they're dancing, they do a close-up of their feet when they're going side to side. That's pretty cool, but I wasn't really impressed. I know they were trying to impress me.
It was a sweet action shot of their movement, because the normal wide shot wouldn't be able to pick up their like intricate moves that they were doing of stepping to the left.
No, you're probably right.
They needed a day of pickup shots with a professional dancer, because they knew those people couldn't master that move.
I thought that those movements looked too slick.
I don't know if you know this, but actually they were from the Moscow Ballet.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know you did all the research on this show.
They performed the Nutcracker and Swan Lake just before this, and they were in town in LA, and they were doing it at the Pantages Theater.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw the Punky Brewster musical at the Pangaeas. It was pretty good.
You know, the Pangea Theater used to be one big theater, and now it's all broken up into 7 smaller theaters.
I hate how they did that.
And speaking of plays, did you know that The Nerd was based on a play?
Yeah, I read that in the text.
Oh, you actually read the text on the opening title sequence?
Yeah, I learned to read last week.
Not only was this based on a play, and clearly shows with its cracking dialogue, but it was directed by James Burrows of the famous Charles Burrows Charles team from Cheers.
What was he thinking, you think? Do you think that he was good at stuff, and then he thought that he would just touch this and it would become good?
Yeah, I think he thought, hey, I started Cheers and I can start any show I want to, so I'm going to start this one and get paid money for it.
James Burrows, yeah, he burrowed up his own ass.
It was developed by the guy who wrote it for Broadway, and then they brought good old Burrows onto it because he's a go-to guy for directing pilots.
So do you think that he has his pilot's license?
I think you have to. If you're doing any pilots in LA, you got to have your license.
That'd be, well, you think they would revoke it after he crashed that many?
When you have so many successful ones, like just Cheers alone, you can coast on that forever. You don't need to worry about other crashes you have.
Hey, and like most pilots, it's full of alcohol.
Yeah, and that was just for the one alcoholic on the crew that was doing lighting or something.
You mean writing?
No, I mean lighting.
You mean writing because it was bad?
No, I think he's just a moron.
Lighting was pretty good.
So this was not only based on a play, but it's also trying to capitalize on the late 80s nerd trend. It's kind of like following the Revenge of the Nerds type movies and nerd culture and computers being all a big deal. So they decide to buy this Broadway play called The Nerd and then make it for the wide audience of America. And clearly people cared a lot for it because it lasted so long.
And the audience in America is pretty wide.
That's true.
Physically.
Because we're overweight as a culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're fat people, including the two of us.
Hey, I don't know who you're talking about. I'm bulimic.
Oh, well, just because you're bulimic doesn't mean you're not fat.
Hey, I'm working here.
I got to keep reminding you so you stay bulimic. If you start getting a healthy body image, you're going to stop being bulimic.
I have to get overconfident and then say that I don't think I'm fat, so you can say that. It's the cycle.
And I got to keep you bulimic because I'm not going to be bulimic by myself.
Yeah, because you need to smell my throw up for you to throw up.
Yeah, I have a weird thing where I can't actually stick my fingers down my own throat. I can't.
So I have to do it. I take my fingers that have my throw up on them and wave them under your nose, and I'll put them down your throat when you're sleeping.
Yeah, I was gonna say that must be when I'm sleeping because I really don't remember that at all.
Yeah, I do it when you're sleeping.
How do you get in my house?
I live in your house at night. I live in your rafters.
That's weird. I don't have any rafters, but are you confusing that with my rappers that I have?
No, those people that have the boat.
Yeah, my rappers.
Yeah, because I know them, so I think about their faces.
After that hilarious opening title sequence where they dance, the guy and the girl that we don't know are expecting the Walgraves to show up for dinner, and it turns out that the guy is a PR person, and he's talking about how it's like the big account, and if he can land this account with the Walgraves, then he can start picking up his other clients, and then eventually in a few years open up his own business and do his PR through that.
Yeah.
They get the phone call, and it's Rick Steadman calling, who I think, isn't he dating Oprah?
Yeah. Rick Steadman's the nerd, and he dates Oprah.
Rick Steadman saved the lead character from a fire because he was living with a woman and he was passed out, and the building caught on fire, and then he was passed out and couldn't get out, so this guy ran in and saved him for some reason. The lead says, I owe him everything, and I said, if you ever need money or a place to stay, you have me here as long as I'm alive, because I owe you my life. So it's the classic scenario of, you save my life so you can get away with anything. So then the Walgraves show up, and it turns out that it's Emmett Walsh and some lady I've never seen before, and they show up to have dinner, and they're going to play some games. And they say, we're going to play games because we can tell what kind of guy you are and whether you should work on our presentation for us or whatever.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I like that.
We're already halfway through my notes because this show is that bad.
It's pretty empty.
Oh, my God.
Well, it was really subtle.
The main character's name, we find out, is named Willem, which we all know Willem is the best name to name your main character in a show.
It's almost like Wilhelm, which is a pretty good name.
Well, Willem Dafoe, there's a reason he's starred in so many sitcoms as himself.
He has.
There's been at least 2 or 3 Willem Dafoe sitcoms where he plays himself.
Yeah, he did that Japanese sitcom about the Green Goblin.
Yeah, gobbing around town.
It's pretty fucking good. It's half cartoon. It was just him green screened into anime. It's pretty good. I've seen it.
I haven't.
I have it on DVD.
Do you have it on TVD?
Yeah. I'll let you borrow it. Do you have a TVD player?
I don't.
I'll let you borrow my TVD player.
Oh, cool. So you should just bring it over one night and we can have like a slumber party and watch it.
Okay, yeah, TPT party.
How many episodes did it last for?
Like 37, and then there were 14 that were unaired.
Oh, wow.
And they're also not on TBD, they're only on Blu-ray.
Why? Because the blooper reel needed to be so long that only a Blu-ray could hold it?
No.
So it's not like Mego?
No, it's actually because TBD players got canceled.
Well, I was going to say, I never heard of them before.
Yeah. Things that you haven't heard of shouldn't exist.
Well, they don't. If you don't know about it, it doesn't exist.
If I haven't heard about it, it doesn't exist to me.
That's like when someone first told me that exercise exists, and I was like, what are you talking about?
Wait, what's exercise?
I got to keep eating my McDonald's.
I like gumballs. I want a gumball pizza.
You know, gumball pizza is one of my favorites.
It's good because you can chew it for long times.
Yeah, it's like you get the pizza and the cheese of a normal pizza, but then if you do like a chipmunk cheek and then you just put all the gumballs in chipmunk cheeks, then you can just keep chewing it all day. So you got the classy pizza taste in your mouth all day. So when you're like meeting your girl that you're going out with
my
later.
My girlfriend's so hot. Oh my gosh.
I know. She's a model for open-toed sandals.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. Well, it's because she lost a lot of her feet in a lawn mowing accident.
So tell me what a lot of her feet means.
She was born with 3 feet. She lost 2 of them. To me, that's a lot of feet. Since we were only born with 2, to lose 2 is a lot. Say if I lost 2 feet and someone said, how many feet did you lose? They'd be like, a lot.
That's true. To be honest, well, to be a foot model, you only really need 1 foot.
That's what they told her. It's pretty cool. I mean, her feet are fucking sexy.
I saw a special on like Discovery or something, and they talk about how she's like such a great foot model and they only have her right foot to work with. So what they do is they split screen it like when they need to do a twin in a sitcom.
That's exactly what they do.
And so they just reverse the image of her right foot so it looks like she has a left foot and a right foot. And then that's how they sell all those shoes.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. People don't understand the technology, but they also, the reason it works for them is because they only have to pay her one foot. And as opposed to most foot models, you got to pay both feet.
Yeah, they pay a prorated contract for her.
It's pretty good. I mean, you know, there's some issues.
That Discovery program also said Industrial Light and Magic does the effect for that.
Yeah, they invented the program, the software, and it's pretty cool. They're thinking about, like projecting her foot on the moon with a super high definition projector.
That's really cool.
Yeah, they're gonna put it in the man in the moon's mouth, and it's gonna be like, then they're gonna make a joke like, "Ooh, he's got his foot in his mouth. What did the man in the moon say?"
Oh, I thought they were gonna say the man on the moon has a foot fetish.
They don't have to say that. Well, actually, that's the test. If he gets like, if his craters get really dilated, then he does have a foot fetish. So it's sort of like a double experiment.
Didn't they base Jar Jar Binks on your girlfriend's foot?
Yeah, partially. They base it on
like
her.
That's what his ears are or something like that?
They base it, well, it's an amalgam of her feet and then like this Asian kid's ear.
Oh, yeah.
That they found in a marble store. I don't know the full story, but
well,
yeah.
When you say marble store, do you mean Marble the Rock or Marble the toy?
No, Marble the bread.
Oh, wow. Marble Rye store?
Yeah. It was this cool marble bread store. It was really hip. Like really fucking trendy, like it was downtown in San Fran.
I've heard they got a good bread scene.
Oh, their bread scene is so fucking good. Like they have like this place called Toasty McBlokes, and like they'll make any kind of toast you want. And one time, I got spaghetti toast.
Yeah,
so fucking good. But I had them put the spaghetti first, and then had to put garlic on the toast. It was fucking good, man.
Do they serve pints?
Yeah.
Wow.
They sell. They have beer toast. And they cut a hole in the bread and they put a cup of beer in it. You have to lift it by the bread, though. And if you
Is the bread stale, though? Because that would weigh a lot.
Yeah, they dry it up, but they'll kick you out if you try to lift it with your hand. My friend Marco, he got punched in the face by the owner.
You know what you should do is, if they don't dry the bread enough, you should bring your own hairdryer, like a portable hairdryer, and then just blow dry the bread until it starts getting hard.
Yeah. It's a good idea.
Thank you.
But the thing is, if you walk in there and you make a noise like that, they'll fucking yell at you.
What if you pretend to be coughing the whole time?
You could try it, but this goes back to how they found the ear there. The ear is not attached to the Asian kid, but he can still hear. So whenever he hears something, that he calls up the store and he'll say like, "What all that noise?" Then you get in trouble because you disturbed him.
So is Jar Jar based on? Like, what's his personality? Is it the kid's ear or is it your girlfriend's foot?
Well, he's a lot like my girlfriend's foot. Like, his personality is like her foot.
Yeah.
And then Jar Jar Binks is like he would be if he had his ear and wasn't like my girlfriend's foot.
Oh.
It's really convoluted, but I don't know. George Lucas he's a genius.
He's a madman, but he is amazing at what he does.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we can all say that the Star Wars prequels are the greatest achievement in cinema history.
Well, my favorite movie is episode 2. What is that?
You know, my favorite movies are always ones where you have to say it's an episode of something.
Yeah, because it reminds me of TV.
Yeah, and that's my favorite.
I don't like movies.
No, I'm not so much of a movie guy, as you can tell from this podcast that we have.
Movies are too long.
But the prequels are perfect length, though.
They remind me of TV shows. Because all sorts of stuff happens and it's funny.
Yeah, and it's like 2 hours long of boring political dialogue with nothing happening.
It's like Aaron Sorkin meets Star Trek.
Oh, finally.
It's like Star Trek meets Aaron Sorkin.
Oh, so you're saying it's like Star Trek meets Sports Night?
Yes. That's probably the perfect explanation.
If anything's like Sports Night, I'm in.
I love Sports Night.
It's the comedy so funny that you forgot to laugh. Oh, and the episode 2 is called Attack of the Clones. Willem's wife is named Trazzy.
For real?
Yeah, her name was Trazzy.
Hush, what a piece of trash.
I assume it's like Tracy, but with a Z.
Oh, yeah, because they're upper middle class.
I'd even go so far as to say they're breaking $100K a year.
Fuck
And that's
them.
in 1990 money or 89 money.
So you mean it was worth something?
Yeah, so I'm saying that it's probably like $250,000 now.
Oh my God.
He's a PR man and she's a photographer. She does photo essays on like important things and cares about the environment.
Yeah, she said that.
And then he convinced her that the dinner was a good idea because he could then help out other clients that are helping the environment. And she goes, well, if it's for the environment.
She was being sarcastic, though.
And then they kissed.
She was being like, oh, well, if it's for the environment, then. Like, she knew what he was trying to pull.
Yeah.
She's
like,
fucking smart.
She knows what she's doing.
She's smucking fart, as funny people would say.
I mean, that's why I'm laughing really hard. I don't know if you guys heard that edit point where I cut out all my laughter.
He told me not to fucking say that because it always cracks him up.
So they're going to have Cornish game hens for dinner, and then they go out to the table, and they've got the tray of Cornish game hens, and they're going to give them to Emmett Walsh and his wife, who keeps trying to steal a spoon for some reason. And there's not even a knock on the door. There's just another guy sitting at the table.
Yeah, he's there when they walk out of the kitchen.
And you know who it is? Rick Steadman, Oprah's beau.
He's so cool, dude.
And hey, it turns out Rick Steadman is a nerd. Like,
yeah.
You hear the name like Rick Steadman, you think, what a hunk, right? But he's a nerd.
Well, when he talked about how he pulled him out of the fire, I immediately pictured a buff guy.
Yeah, me too.
If you're going to think about a guy, think about a buff guy. Buff.
I mean, if there's not a buff guy, I'm not paying attention.
No, I want a guy who's healthy and handsome and tall.
I mean, I'm no homosexual, but I need a hot guy in my shows or I'm not watching.
Hey, I'm no guy who likes guys, but if he ain't tall, dark, and handsome, then I'm stealing my own mind for ransom.
I just gotta say, he's gotta have a 6-pack to get my 2 eyes watching.
Oh, man. He's got to have a 6-pack or I'm turning it off packs.
He's gotta have a 6-pack or I gotta drink one so I can look at the guy. Rick Steadman is a nerd, and I wrote it down with an exclamation point, a really dark, big exclamation point, because he's that big of a nerd.
Yeah, he really is such a nerd.
He's got like a pocket protector and a white button-up shirt, and he's got big, thick glasses on.
Wow.
And he stands up, and he starts doing an impression of Jimmy Durante, and he goes, but when he was alive.
He did qualify that.
And then he does a Jimmy Stewart impression. Jimmy Stewart impression?
White Rabbit!
He's talking about Harvey, the funny movie. And to be honest, I think he nailed that part a little bit better than Jimmy Stewart.
Pretty much.
So then they are going to eat dinner, and he goes, oh, what are you having? And she says, Cornish game hens. And he goes, no, that's what I had for lunch.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. That was real funny stuff. I like that.
So he takes a Cornish game hen, and then she goes, oh, don't feel bad about not eating it. And then he goes, okay, where's the garbage? And he stands up and picks it up with his hand.
That's funny. He doesn't get stuff.
And then he's like, oh, well, this guy doesn't have one. So then he puts it on Emmett Walsh's plate and just sets it there with his hand. And then Emmett Walsh is all grossed out. And he's like, well, how dare you?
What's the meaning of this?
And he
was talking about life.
And then they have the hard-boiled eggs, or deviled eggs, I mean. They were hard-boiled, to be
at one point, but let's stay current.
You know, if you got to make deviled eggs, you got to break a few hard-boiled eggs. So they're sitting on the table, and then Rick Steadman goes, isn't it weird that the eggs used to be inside of birds a little while ago? And then he starts miming like a Cornish game hen crapping out a deviled egg, as if these adults that have sex and are married don't understand how babies are born or made.
Yeah, well, he's such a nerd that he doesn't understand things. He doesn't understand that he doesn't know what sex is.
Remember when being a nerd wasn't cool?
Yeah, I do, because this guy, he can't function.
He doesn't deserve the word nerd. He's just a straight up spasmodic moron.
Some people would call people a bird brain, but he's a nerd brain.
This show sucked.
Yeah, it's boring.
Then Emmett Walsh is so pissed off that they want to leave and go, whoa, we can continue this meeting some other time. So that they start to head out the door, and then Willem goes, oh, we can play the games. And he goes, games? Because he was really into playing those games. And then, so he goes, I guess we can stay a couple hours. And then they all walk back in the living room, and they start to play games, and they decide to play I Went on a Trip.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I've never heard of that game.
The only trip I want to go on is the one from Migo.
Yeah. I was hoping the game would be that they described a destination and then someone had to guess what the destination was.
I thought it was going to be like an I Spy situation where they say, I went on a trip and I saw palm trees and this kind of animal, and then they'd have to guess where they were going.
Yeah.
But that wasn't what happened.
Wasn't it because...
It's the game that I've only heard of as a drinking game where they go through the alphabet and like one person says A, like I want to bring an apple on a trip, and then the next person says something with a B, I want to bring a basket on a trip, and then it just goes on and on until everybody forgets except for one person, and every time you move on to the next letter, you have to say all the letters previously. So they go, I'm going on a trip, and I bring an apple, and then it goes to basket, and then to candlestick, and then to duck, and then Rick Steadman gets to go, and he goes, I'm going on a trip, and I'm bringing a map of the area.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
So he's a nerd, and he can't grasp the concept of this game. And then everyone like says, oh, you lose, and then Willem says, oh, no, he didn't win, he's just playing a different way, because for some reason, this guy saved his life, but he can't tell him he's done anything wrong. Which I don't understand. It's just a license to walk all over him forever.
I don't know what to say.
They just decide to accept that as an answer of a map of an area. And Trazzy, or whatever her name is, I said.
This show's fucking boring.
Says, I'm going to go on a trip and I'm going to bring a flagpole. And then Rick Steadman laughs his head off. Like so violently laughing that he almost falls off the couch. And he goes, flagpole? You wouldn't take that on a trip. And then Emmett Walsh goes again, and he says, I'm going to bring a gun, implying he wants to shoot Rick Steadman, which, to be fair, I can't disagree with that. But
I don't understand how he's a nerd, because nerds are supposed to be smart, and he would recognize that there's a pattern, because part of being smart is pattern recognition, but he didn't recognize like the pattern that it was the alphabet, so he's not really a nerd. I think there's something else going on
there
here.
is something severely wrong with him. I don't know what it is. I don't know what condition you would say he has, if he even has one, or he's just a straight up moron. But he's funny. I'll give him that. He's really, really funny.
Yeah, he's super fucking funny. He's one of the cool guys. The coolest guys I've ever met, I think.
Wow, you met him? Did he tell any cool stories about shooting the nerd?
Yeah, he wrote a book about it called Shooting the Nerd.
Yeah.
And it was pretty funny. It was good. It was like a thing about how they were trying to defame smart people by making them seem stupid.
Interesting.
If you say anything, then I'm going to have you run over by a train.
You're going to have me, or you're going to have to be?
You are.
Oh, no.
Going to be run over by a train.
What if I move a few feet over?
I'll build tracks.
No.
Yeah,
I didn't know you had the industrial capability of that.
I have a team of guys.
You should. Too bad you weren't fighting for the South in the Civil War. You would have helped them a lot.
No, I couldn't have.
Why?
Because I don't believe in civil.
Oh, you're just uncivilized?
Yeah, I believe in savage wars fought with coconuts.
Well, that's also goes to show why you don't shave or shower or, do anything.
I haven't washed my body in 60 years, and I'm only, what am I, 26?
Well, I was wondering how long you've had that French fry in your beard for.
I'm just saving that. Well, I'd wear that to keep you hungry. I feel like that's why you hang out with me, because I always have the food in my beard.
Well, I mean, that's definitely why I first talked to you. But, I mean, I also didn't know if it got stuck in your beard from your own bulimia and you puked up a half-digested French fry and just stayed there, or if you just stuck it in there for later and then forget about it.
Well, my thing is, I want to meet a girl with a spot of ketchup on her face.
Oh, yeah?
So when we kiss, I want my fry to dip into her ketchup.
That's the dream.
And then that's to me is something to do with love.
You know, I had a weird dream the other day where I was with a fine lady, and I asked her out on a date, and she goes, you know, I'd go with you, but you're hideous and I don't like you. And I said, thank you for your time. And then I woke up.
That's kind of funny. Dreams are where magnificent things happen.
Well, yeah, like a girl would even say no to me as magnificent. Usually they just scream and run away.
Well, at least they don't mace you anymore because you get that law passed.
You're not allowed to mace me if I walk up to them showing both my hands are empty in broad daylight in front of a public store.
Yeah, well, at least you got reclassified as a human being.
Yeah, just barely.
I helped you out with that.
Oh, did you? Were you in charge of the signs or something?
I went into my friend who works at the cryptozoology department at Yale, and I had them do your genome, and we found at least 1% that was human.
That's all I can ask for, really. You know?
May have fudged it by I jerked off into the sample.
You did.
Yeah.
I owe you one, buddy.
Yeah, well, you can start by putting some mustard on your face.
Are you saying you want to marry me?
No, mustard. My French fries are afraid of mustard.
Oh, okay, good. But then what kind of girl am I looking for? One with a hot dog in her beard?
Yeah, I'm helping you out. No, a pretzel.
A soft pretzel?
Yeah.
A girl with a nice soft pretzel hanging from her face?
A pretzel girl. A German girl.
That's the kind I want.
You know, we all got to find our special someone, and you got to have face accessories.
I'm just praying that I find my special someone before Valentine's Day this year.
What are your plans for Valentine's Day?
Well, as of right now, I was planning on spending it alone crying like usual, maybe in the shower, maybe eating a bucket of ice cream. And by bucket, I mean literal, like 5-gallon bucket.
Yummy.
But, you know, then I'm going to have to spend all that time throwing up afterwards, so I don't know if it's even worth it.
Well, if you want to go with me, I'm going to see Fever Pitch, the Jimmy Fallon movie.
Where are they showing that?
Well, I'm gonna have a projector, and I'm gonna project it onto my house.
Oh, cool.
And I'm gonna invite my neighbors over.
Do you have a sheet big enough to do that? I mean, you have to because it's your bed.
No, I'm just projecting on the vinyl siding.
Okay.
I'm not getting too fancy.
Well, that's gonna make
just one night.
That's gonna make Jimmy Fallon look kind of wrinkly, isn't it?
I don't think I need vinyl siding to make that old hag look wrinkly.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, but I'm going to have my neighbors come over, and I'm going to start a fight with them about George Bush.
That'd be fun.
So, you're welcome to come.
That'd be really cool.
And you can, I don't know. If I have a girlfriend by then, though, I'm still going to put the movie on, but I'm going to be in my room, and I'm going to be, like, fighting with her about George Bush, probably.
Man, that sounds like the life. Can you teach me how to date girls?
Well, first of all, you got to get a stance on George Bush. Because he's just polarizing.
Do you like him or don't like him?
I haven't decided. That's why I don't have a girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
Because I always think I don't like him, but then I go on to read about him, and he just fucking wins me over.
I was going to say, based on all the things I've heard about him, I don't really like him. But then I do more research, and then I realize I really don't like him.
Well, the problem is he's just a real guy. And I get confused because I get confused if I'm reading about his father or him because they're the same guy to me because they're just fucking down to earth.
Well, they're both named George Bush, so how can you tell them apart?
Well, someone says, what's in a name? And I'm like, a rose by any other name is still
a great president.
Shiny or a great president. So I'm out at sea.
You know, some other people say my name. And then I say, okay, Beyonce. And then she says, I'm okay with George Bush. And then I say, well, I'm kind of not. And then she doesn't date me, so.
Are you going to vote for Bush for his re-election?
Which year is he running?
He's running for 2000. What is it? 2000. 2000.
I don't think so.
You're not going to vote for Bush?
No.
Fucking A, man.
Well, I mean, we are recording this in 1999, so I haven't made up my mind yet.
Why are you saying that? Of course we are.
Well, I mean, I just have to let people know because this might not be released for a while.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I have really slow internet connection, so this might take a little while.
I'm just excited because, you know, Clinton's cool, but Bush, woo, he's just fucking neat. I don't know. I'm just excited to see if he gets in there. I'm just really optimistic about this next decade.
I kind of want to vote for Al Gore, though. I think he's, more popular, but who knows if he'll win.
You know, I don't know if he'll win. he doesn't. He's just not. He doesn't have that it. And I just.
But he made the internet though.
If you're right, when you're right, you're right.
Without the internet, I have no way of ever hoping to find a girl or contact one. So I gotta thank Al Gore for that.
I have a sneaking suspicion that 2 years from now, we're both gonna be in a cool country with 2 hot chicks and a cool president.
Without any wars happening?
No wars.
Man, that'd be great.
No, it's gonna be fucking...
Are the 2 towers gonna still be up?
Of course. I don't know why you'd even fucking ask.
Are we still going to be able to like see our loved ones off at the airports without going through security and having tickets?
My vision for the next 10 years is they're going to get rid of all TSA.
Oh, cool.
All scanners, and anyone can go on the plane. You don't need a ticket. You don't need anything. You just go on, and they're going to let like different people fly the planes too.
Yeah, I like when you could go into the cockpit and like say hi to the pilots.
I know. What happened to the country I heard about?
I mean, I did that, and now I can't do it anymore.
Why?
Well, because I'm older now. They only let little kids do it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, because definitely.
But I mean, it might happen. Like, God forbid, something bad happens, and they just stop that. We lose all of our freedoms.
Couldn't happen.
Like
nothing bad happens.
What if we slowly lost all of our freedoms and just let it happen? No. I mean, that's
no. I think for me, you're wrong because George Bush and like the government is like, you know, they're good people and they want the good for us. They like the public for the greater good. I just think if you think something bad could happen, it's not. Because in 2001 especially, I have a feeling like a good Shrek movie's going to come out.
Oh, that'd be great.
We're going to be in 7th grade or 8th grade?
7th.
We're going to be in 7th grade, and we're going to be chilling. And September, you're going to go off without a hitch. In October, you're going to have a spooky Halloween time.
Oh, yeah.
November, you're going to have a yummy turkey. Christmas, going to have a cool present. And then, etc. So don't worry.
Okay.
Everything's good.
Put my fears at ease on this one.
Everything's going to be so good.
We're just going to keep raising and raising after Clinton goes out of the office.
Oh, you think we got a surplus now?
Imagine how much of a surplus we're going to have in like 2009.
You have no idea. We're each going to have like fucking 6 acres, like 4 houses. We're going to be so rich.
I mean... They're just going to be giving away cars, right? I mean,
I have a feeling.
Even minimum wage will be like $10,000 an hour.
$10,000. And like the car company, speaking of cars, they're going to be so rich.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, my God. They're going to be paying the government. They're going to be helping the government out. Because they're going to have so much extra money.
Man, Detroit's going to be like thriving.
It's going to be fucking crazy. I'm excited. I'm going to move there.
I couldn't imagine the like real estate prices. If we better buy now and then... sell in like 2009 or 10 when Detroit really picks up.
If we don't buy now, we will never be able to afford buying even like one house in Detroit.
Good luck even finding an apartment.
Well, good luck taking a taxi in there because we won't be able to afford the taxi because they'll know only rich people hang out in Detroit.
You can't even be homeless in Detroit at that time.
No, they're like, you think they have like water now? They're going to have so much water. Like, the pipes are going to be flowing specifically. They're going to have, like, extra pipes put in. Detroit's
going to be, like, the modern El Dorado.
I believe so.
Like, El Dorado was just a fable until Detroit 2009.
No, I think we should have shirts made up that say Detroit 2009. I'm just excited. I'm excited for the next decade. That's all I can say.
Do you think any big hurricanes will hit?
I don't think so because it just seems like things are getting calm. So I just think that hurricane seasons will just be diminutive and like nice and we'll just chill out. I think, New Orleans.
If we were going to spend some money on some housing in Detroit right now, maybe we should just buy some down in New Orleans right now too.
Yeah, you're probably right. Like what is that place?
Then the 9th Ward?
9th Ward. Yeah, that's like that's a good place like to hang out and stuff, right?
I don't think so, but it's. I mean, if property values are going up everywhere, why not buy there?
I think you're right. I think we should. I want to buy like some really old houses like right next to the water, like really good oceanfront property, And then...
Hey, you know what never goes down Valley is oceanfront property.
No, it's not possible.
It's like all the rich people want to move to the ocean. Hey, where are they going to get the land from me because I own it?
I think we should... So, Detroit and New Orleans, and then... Yeah, and I'm thinking even like we go to like Texas and buy some like set up like a sweet like oceanfront seafood restaurant for the oil workers.
Yeah, we should try to get into the shrimp business down there.
I think that might be a good idea.
I mean, we could technically do that from New Orleans, but
I want to go
it's
across
all in the Gulf
board.
of Mexico.
I like that whole Gulf area. I see that's like some good stuff's going to happen down there in the next like 15 years, I think.
Well, I was going to say, too, is I think the Reagan war on drugs is finally going to, like, fix Mexico, so maybe we should check out some places down there, like, on the border towns.
That's a good idea.
Because, I mean, the gangs are probably going to die down, and the cartels are going to disappear slowly, but I don't know. Just throwing out there.
I got to say...
There's a lot of areas we could possibly make a lot of money in.
You're right. I'm just excited about the next decade, We
got border towns... We got fish industry in the Gulf of Mexico. We got New Orleans. We got Detroit. I mean, this is a veritable cornucopia of opportunities that we can choose from and just make bank.
No, I don't know. I'm excited.
We need to get some loans, some high interest loans right now.
Let's get what is it called? A
subprime mortgage?
Subprime mortgage. Those are hot, right?
Yeah.
Driving those way up. Like, that's the future right there.
Hey, and don't give them to anybody. That's the thing. Like, I mean, we'll get one for sure, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, well, it's just a good strategy because you give the power to the people, and money equals power. And when the average person can get their hands on some moolah, they know what it feels like to have the cash, and then they start acting responsible.
And I mean, one of the things Bush is promising is tax breaks. So maybe I will vote for him.
I will. We're going to be.
I mean, we're not old enough.
We're going to be loaded, so I want those kind of tax breaks for the real rich people. Like, because I think with these plans, we're going to be loaded, and we'd kick ourselves in the ass if we didn't make sure that tax cuts for the people like we're going to become.
Yeah.
For the real rich people like we're going to be.
Well, I mean, I'm never going to tax rich people because what if I like on the off chance become really rich and then I'll get my money taken away?
I won't deal with that. Like, I'm getting mad right now thinking about that. I'm really mad right now. So we need to make sure we get all of our money because, we're the kind of people that would help poor people.
Yeah, of course.
Because that's, rich people help poor people.
I mean, I side with the billionaires now so they know, like, I'm going to be cool when I become one of them.
You got to get in the mindset.
And, I mean, they know, like, you can't just become a billionaire. You have to have the right mindset for it. And I started eating caviar, things like that. And I mean, I'm only in 5th grade right now, but I'm getting it done. I'm going to be a billionaire, going to own some land in Detroit. It's my 15-year plan.
I think I look at the future of our life in 15 years. I see great things.
Yeah, and I mean, if we're still sitting in my room in 15 years, I'm going to fucking kill myself.
Oh, I'll kill you, and then I'll kill myself.
If this is 2014 and we're in my room right now, the same room, I'm going to fucking kill myself.
I will slit my wrists on the spot.
And I will still vote against hiking the tax on the rich.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Because I might be there one day.
No, even my ghost might get rich. I just can't die even knowing that these job creators are going to be hindered of their ability to create jobs,
If they lose even 1 cent because of tax increases, I'm going to lose it.
Oh, I will fucking go ballist.
I mean, we're going to be in a virtual paradise by this time, but I'm going to lose it. I might do something crazy, like yell at a guy on the street.
I'll yell
I mean,
at
that'll be
everyone.
unheard of in 2010.
Well, you're not going to yell. There won't be yelling. Like fucking, it'll be, you think Canada is nice now?
Yeah.
You look ahead to 2014.
Oh, jeez.
And they won't even have frowns.
They won't even have to say sorry anymore because they already know they're automatically sorry for everything.
They wouldn't even need that in their vocab. As a guy in 1999 in 5th grade, I look ahead to me at 26 and I see a great world and a great person.
I see a guy who's in good shape. getting lots of girls.
Oh my God, yes.
Wallet bursting with money. And I drive 5 Mercedes at the same time.
I can picture that.
I use radio control frequencies. It's pretty cool. It's like I get into the flying V shape like in Mighty Ducks. And
oh shit!
I just drive down the street.
That's genius.
Yeah, and the trick is like they don't know where the puck is if there's 5 of us like that, and ducks fly together.
That's a good idea. I mean, nobody would call you on it anyways because we won't probably have police by then.
No,
police will just the thing is the police by 2014 will probably they'll just have like yo-yos to do. They won't even have guns. They'll have yo-yos,
and they'll just see us go by and be like, "Yo, you guys are cool and you're billionaires."
Wow, I sure like you.
I won't tax you because hopefully I'll be like you one day, and I'll be like, here's $5.
Yeah, that's start. Here's your nest egg. Now go play with your yo-yo.
Invest wisely, copper.
And not in copper. Actually, well, there'll be plenty of copper by then, too.
Yeah, people won't be so desperate that they steal it out of people's houses.
Oh, God.
So then Rick Stedman says, let's play Baghead instead of I Went on a Trip. And nobody knows how to play that. And then Emmett Walsh's wife goes, he knows how to play everything. He's amazing at games. So then he feels kind of like he has to do it. So then Rick Stedman says, okay, you got to take your shoes off. So he takes his shoes off and everyone else takes their shoes off. He needs a bag, so he puts Emmett Walsh's shoes in a bag, and Emmett Walsh goes, careful, these are $200 shoes. And then Rick Stedman makes everybody put on paper bags on their heads with an eye hole in it, and then spin around, plugging their ears and humming. And then he hides the pair of shoes, and he hides them like on a windowsill with an open window behind it. No, it's not foreshadowing or anything.
No, I didn't see anything bad happening.
It turns out Emmett Walsh can't see out of his paper bag on his head because he didn't put the eye hole in the right place. So then Rick Stedman goes, here, I'll make a new one. And he pokes him in the eye. And like I laughed for at least an hour or two.
That was pretty funny.
And then he even took out a pen and tried to poke it with a pen. I mean, that really would have hurt, but it's also really funny.
It's funny. I don't care when people get hurt in TV.
Then they stop spinning around and stuff, and Rick Stedman says, we need to have a Bible to read the certain passage, and then you tell me this thing, and then I stop, and then we find the shoes. And then Willem goes, I don't think I have a Bible. And then Rick Stedman and Emmett Walsh and the lady are all like, why don't you have a Bible? Do you not believe in God? And they all get kind of mad and offended by it. So then the game's over because he doesn't have a Bible. Rick Stedman goes to pick up the shoes that he put on the windowsill, and he accidentally bumps into him, and he knocks him into a creek that's next to their house. Apparently, it's a foot away from their house.
I didn't believe that, but whatever. I'll suspend my disbelief.
Architecture is one thing I'm a pretty good student at, and I know it's not very sound to build on top of a creek.
No.
I mean, it's not like New Orleans or anything.
No, it's not like the World Trade Center. Unbreakable type of thing.
I mean, but this house is built right next to a creek. There's a creek literally shoe falling distance away from the house. And then Emmett Walsh runs out the door in his socks and he goes, these are $200 shoes.
So I don't think $200 isn't that much money for a guy who can hire a guy to write speeches for him.
Yeah, I know.
It's not a lot of money. He just must be cheap. I won't be like that.
Everybody runs out except for Trazzy.
Trazpan.
And Rick Stedman. Willem comes back in and he's got a spoon in his hand. So the guy's wife, Emmett Walsh's wife, was trying to steal the spoon again for the third or fourth time.
Why?
Because it was silver.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I don't...
So she's kind of like a klepto.
So are they poor for secretly poor?
I don't know. I think she just has problems. She seemed like Emmett Walsh beats her.
She did. That's exactly what I
she was like,
thinking.
he's good at games. He's really good at games. Don't make him mad.
Yes, well, I am pretty good at games.
Don't play him for money. And I went on a trip.
Don't play him for money. And anyone plays that for money, then you're a bunch of homeless guys sitting behind a general store.
Yeah, you're homeless guys in the back of a train that are trying not to get caught, and you're like whispering.
I went on a trip. I mean, hobos, their brains so fried from moonshine that they only know A, B, and C anyway.
I went on a trip and I brought AIDS medication, a bindle, and change. And that's every homeless guy's game. That's how they know each other is homeless, is if they can play the game and get those three right. It's really subtle.
That's the litmus test?
Yeah, it's how they weed out the non-homeless people or the non-travelers. It's pretty smart. I'll give them that.
I don't know if I agree with being homeless or not, but whatever.
Well, I don't agree with it, and I don't think anyone will be by 2014, so...
That's, no question.
I mean, not in America, at least.
No question. Well, I don't think anybody will be homeless anywhere by then. Because I think there won't be any disease in the world either by then either. It'll be kind of like... People won't know what a disease is.
There won't be a near pandemic event.
No.
In 2014, like everyone's going to be cool. There's going to be no disease. There might be a flu occasionally. Like not even a bad flu, but just like a seasonal flu.
Sporadic.
But like, yeah, there's not going to be any highly contagious diseases spread throughout the world.
No, things will be just incredibly cleanly. People won't be dirty and homeless and living in like shanty towns.
Well, and yeah, bloodborne pathogens don't even exist anymore. It's just...
Well, that's what I'm envisioning.
And even if there were homeless people, which we all know won't happen, the majority of them definitely won't be ex-military.
No. Those veterans are going to get the treatment they deserve. I mean, there won't be any veterans.
No, because there's not going to be any war.
There's not going to be war, but we'll have those trickle down from the Gulf.
Yeah, there's still going to be some Gulf War syndrome happening from the early 90s.
But, that's life.
Yeah.
That's life. Shit happens, but that's something we'll leave behind.
Hey, they fought for our country, and I really respect it. They made it into this great land that it is in 2014, hopefully.
Not hopefully. Well, definitely.
Guaranteedly.
Guaranteedly, indeed. Those are the words we use in the future.
I think I'm going to make a shirt that says Positoot on it.
That's so cool.
And then just have a cool train going by with sunglasses on.
Oh, like Positoot too.
Yeah, and it's going to have sunglasses on and all the people are going to be waving and there's sunflowers by it.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
And a hot chick with a beer.
Oh, yeah.
And
with a nice with a nice cool bud.
Oh, fuck. I'm so excited.
Oh, maybe I'll put those cool Budweiser frogs on there too. They're each riding in their own train car.
That's a good idea.
And then the frogs are AIDS medication, Bindle, change instead of Budweiser.
That's a good idea because the homeless will finally get the respect they're due.
Profits to charity, obviously. Of course.
Well, I'm probably with my money. My big idea is I'm going to create something called Coke Pepsi, and it's going to be half Coke and half Pepsi. And because I don't want that war. That's a war to me is Coke versus Pepsi. So I want to unite them into Coke Pepsi. In
this new millennium we're going to be reaching, I think that Mountain Dew needs more flavors.
I think you're right. I never even thought about it.
I mean, we all know that there's the weird neon green one, but what if there was red, orange, purple?
Oh, that'd be so cool.
I'm just throwing it out there. Mountain Dew is the greatest soda that's not given its own franchise. They're like the Oreos of soda.
Yeah, they need I need more Mountain Dew, and I need more Oreos.
Oreos definitely need more shelf space.
They'll get it. I'm having a feeling now that we've brought this up that we're going to see more Oreos. We're going to see Coke Pepsi because of me. Coke Pepsi, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's going to be the song.
You like Coke and I like Pepsi. You put them together and you get what's next.
Pepsi next. Oh, I'll call it Pepsi next.
Oh, yeah, because the next generation of soda is coming.
That's such a good idea. And then when Coke will have no Coke left in it, so they'll call it Coke Zero.
That'd be cool.
So that's cool.
I hope Nestea still exists.
I don't think so.
It's just... I mean, we've been throwing out some things, but that's just not reasonable.
Well, I guess I don't want it to exist. I've never agreed with its stance on abortion.
More of a brisk man yourself?
I am very brisk. And the ladies aren't happy about it. I'm not Nostradamus.
If you write this down, this podcast, and you do the Nostradamus rules of, take a letter away, substitute a letter, then I'm sure we came up with everything that happened.
I think we're probably at least 99.9% correct.
I'd bet my billions of dollars on it.
And I as well. I'll bet all my future wealth that I am right about all of this.
So then as everyone's outside, Rick Steadman starts unpacking his suitcase, and he's pulling out a tambourine and some funny things.
That's pretty funny.
And a book and things, and he goes, "Oh, what's this?" And he's pointing to a fireplace, and Trazzy says, "That's a fireplace." And he goes, "Where does it lead to?" And he starts to crawl into it because, he's smart. And she goes, "Oh, it leads to our bedroom." And he goes, "Oh, okay." And then he goes, "Am I in your way?" And she goes, "No, I'm going to take the stairs." God. Classic jokes.
That's pretty funny.
And then he sits back on the couch and she goes to bed. Then Willem comes back in and he says, I can't believe you. You like ruined this night for me. It was really important to me. And he goes, oh, wow, this night was important to you? And then he gives him a Bible that he took out of a suitcase. And then it was supposed to be a really sweet moment. And it was. And
I didn't understand what that message they were trying to send.
That they're brothers. They're connected.
I suppose.
Even though they differ, they're all the same down inside.
My God.
He saved his life. They're connected by a bond forever.
Yeah.
And then
wow.
the episode just ended.
My only issue is, I know they tried to make him eccentric, but, I mean, he's not a nerd because he didn't really seem to have, like, intense interest in anything.
He was intensely interested in getting everything wrong and being annoying. It was like if you mixed...
Urkel.
If you mixed Urkel with someone that has zero social skills, like less than Urkel.
Less than Urkel. That's my favorite movie from the 80s.
I'm going to pitch that to UPN as a sitcom. Less than Urkel.
It's like sexy Urkel.
UPN still exists, hopefully.
It does.
When I'm old enough to pitch shows.
Oh, I will. I'll have a lot of hit shows.
Mission Hill's going to take off.
Oh, yeah.
It's like if you mixed Urkel, if like Urkel had a baby with Vicky from Small Wonder, so it was like a robot mixed with Urkel, so it's just a complete non-human being that retains enough characteristics to still be classified as a human being, like myself.
Hey, if anyone knows it.
Then that's what you get. It's a 6-year-old girl robot mixed with a 20-year-old nerd who can't get a date.
That does sound like a 30-something.
Yeah, 30-something white guy that's completely inept.
Right, a black guy mixed with a young white girl is a 30-year-old white guy.
Exactly.
That's just logic. That's logic.
It's like 1 + 1 is 2. It's first thing you learn in school.
Well, it's like 1 + 1 is 2 and 2 + 1 is 3.
And 3 is a crowd.
Oh, that's how a hobo, when two hobos want to hang out alone together, they do math problems until the other one gets it and then walks away.
And then they also watch Three's Company.
Yeah, they have the train. They listen to it on the radio, and they act it out with shadow puppets.
I like the guy who does John Ritter, One-Eyed Jack.
He's decent.
He's not as physical as Ritter because he's got the one leg kind of messed up. It's just really stiff.
And also, yeah, he's got gangrene, but he can remove his fingers to do extra puppet stuff. That's pretty cool. That's a gift.
I hope he gets back on his foot.
He will.
Actually, do you think your girlfriend's related to him?
No. I mean, they went through some similar experiences, I assume. How did my girlfriend lose her leg?
A fire?
Something happened.
It was a fire.
I think it was a fire.
I mean, we could call her and ask her, but I don't really care.
Beep, beep. Hi. Hey, babe. When are you coming home? After I'm done.
Hey, you live with her?
Yeah. Okay, well.
Tell her I said hi.
Cale said hi. I don't fucking talk to him. He's a fucking duke. Hey, fuck you. 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 Hang up. I'm sorry. She's a fucking front.
Oh, I didn't hear anything. I can't hear the other end of a phone call.
Oh. Okay. I forgot. Well, anyway, she says hi.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I hope you guys stick together for a long time.
Yeah, we will. Things are going great.
Can I be your best man at your wedding?
Probably. I'll ask her. She'll say yes because things are going well with us.
Oh, nice.
I mean, when I was a 5th grader, I'm probably going to marry her.
Mazel tov. Did you learn anything from watching The Nerd?
I guess all the premonitions we had. But about the show, no, I learned that, I don't know, the word nerd gets thrown around like a Klingon whore, and that people really don't recognize it after everyone's had their way with it.
Nerd is a strange word that doesn't really have a definition, but people try to put one on it. And that's just not possible because, according to them, nerds are mentally challenged 6-year-old robots mixed with Urkel. And that's something I don't need to see on TV.
I don't want to shut the TV on and see that.
I also learned that NBC is horrible at judging what could possibly be a show in 1989, and they trusted James Burrows a lot with this pilot. And to be fair, he didn't direct amazingly, but he didn't ruin it. It was ruined from the get-go.
You couldn't develop any of these characters.
So, final question. Would you watch this?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I would too.
I would.
I mean, it sounds like nothing happened and we didn't like it very much because we didn't talk about it a lot. But it was just so dense that we knew this was a limited amount of time we had to record today, so we couldn't really just dive into it.
Too much subtext in this pilot.
From them dancing awkwardly like white people to being saved from a fire to a bad business meeting dinner. It's just like, how could I explain that to you in a sentence? I can't.
It's not possible.
But yeah, I'd watch it. I think it would have been bigger than Seinfeld if you gave it a chance.
It would have been out huge spin-offs.
Seinfeld didn't exactly do gangbusters in the ratings, so they probably would have led in with the nerd, and then Seinfeld comes right after, like Nerd at 8, Seinfeld at 8:30.
Yeah, I mean, I think they had to cancel it in a way because, Seinfeld would pale in comparison because there's not a lot going on with Seinfeld. It's just not one of the better shows.
Yeah.
It's just super overrated.
I mean, it's got some funny parts.
It's really boring. Like, every once in a while, something decent happens, but for the most part, I feel like the nerd, I want my smart humor, not my whatever Seinfeld claims to be,
Yeah, I want a guy who picks up a Cornish game hen and then puts it on a guy's plate with his hand, and I don't want any of the smarmy jokes about, where's your parked car in this garage?
I don't want that bullshit.
I don't need that. I want to see hilarious problems like, this guy showed up and ruined my dinner, and not like, I want to play with this girl's toys, so I'm going to get her drunk on wine and stuff and make her sleepy.
So lame.
I mean, it's like, try a little harder to make a funny joke.
I think it's funny when there's a guy that comes over that does things that you don't like and makes you feel out of control.
Yeah, that's so funny.
That's fucking good. Seinfeld can't give me that.
I want to see a show where I know how much a guy's shoes cost, but I don't want to see a show where a comedian lives his life with his really funny friends.
No.
Like, I mean, I need to know about these shoes because it's going to make my life better when I become a billionaire.
I like guys who work for PR firms. That's interesting. I really relate to that.
Yeah, I can't relate to an artist, like a comedian.
Fuck that. Fucking highfalutin comedian bullshit. I want to be... I like the character in this show because he's a man of the people. He's a PR guy that works with, like, people I can relate with, like people who don't want to lose their shoes.
Yeah, and he just wants to he wants to provide for his wife. I get that. These are simple things. I don't need high concept. Ooh, I'm recording this movie. I hope no one finds me bootlegging a tape.
That's fucking stupid. That happened on Seinfeld? What is it, Steinfeld or Seinfeld?
I used to think it was Jerry Seinfeld, but it's actually Haley Steinfeld that is in the lead of the show.
Haley Steinfeld?
Yeah.
Yes. You're right. Haley Steinfeld. That's stupid.
Hack comic, really.
Oh, huge hack.
Hey, what's the deal with me being in True Grit?
Hey, what's the deal with my $200 shoes?
Now that's funny.
If he would have said something like that...
Yeah, maybe Haley Steinfeld should have done that joke.
That show's going to go down like this is the last season, is 1999, and I do see that show... We're never going to see that on TV again. We're never going to see like that in syndication.
No. It'll never last. Who wants to see that? We didn't even want it the first time.
Nobody did. They pushed it in our faces.
We wanted the nerd, and we are not happy about NBC.
I'm not happy with them.
I've been writing a letter a day since 1989 trying to get the nerd back on. And they showed it once. When News Radio was on, they showed the nerd.
Well, they got all your letters, and they finally, they gave in. But,
They actually thought a couple million people were writing them because I would change my handwriting. I would start writing with like my right hand and then my foot just to like, trick them a little bit.
That's crazy. When you write with your right hand, it looks like my writing. So some of them probably thought that I was writing letters.
Well, that's weird.
Because they know me for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, I mean, aren't you best friends with Bob Greenblatt?
He's my girlfriend's stepfather.
No way.
Yeah. He had a lot to do with her leg falling off.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, because he started the fire. They had a gas stove. He was trying to keep her warm. And then he lit a match and he threw it on her bed because she said she was cold. And then her leg burned off. He just didn't know what he was doing. Nobody taught him. He's a city guy.
Hey, he knows how to pick shows, except for picking Seinfeld over the nerd. But I mean, I guess he thought everyone wanted to see Haley Steinfeld on TV. but we didn't.
Nobody did. I just remember this. My girlfriend, her favorite comedian was Haley Steinfeld.
No way.
So he made it up to her because he burned her leg off by keeping it on the air.
Wow.
So that she was actually the only person who was watching it.
I hope this isn't a little inside baseball for some of you guys.
I hope I'm not getting too esoteric, but that's what happened.
I think you should dump her because she actually likes Haley Steinfeld.
But her foot jobs are just really good.
How do you do it? Do you use like a mirror to like pretend she has 2 feet?
No, I use my foot against her foot.
That's cool.
It's like teamwork.
So yeah, boo for Steinfeld.
Yeah, boo Steinfeld. Yay, nerd.
Yay, nerd. Steinfeld.
Nerd, nerd, nerd.
We love the nerd.
Yeah, I like it.
We love the nerd so much, we'd marry it.
I'd put it on a rope and eat it.
I'd buy that for $1. Okay, bye.
Bye.
This has been a So Well Read production.
So well read.